you know it's time. IAfootball is back, and we've got you covered with everything from the biggest hits to the biggest runs, from in-game highlights to post-game breakdowns.
We are here talking any and all high school football.
From day one all the way to the dome, we've got you covered at IAfootball.
Welcome in, everybody. It is week 8 of Iowa high school football, which is absolutely crazy. Bringing you our rankings this Monday morning. Some quick news before we get to that ultimate rankings. Those will be out later this afternoon, so each class ranked down to its exact number. Appreciate everyone that's over there and subscribed. And tomorrow, our district cheat sheet. This is becoming more and more valuable, folks. I promise you that. This is just, it shows every district standing, every tiebreaker. It shows every team's district schedule and their point differential in those games. So if you're looking to learn more about the district standings and all that good stuff, go ahead and head over to Rockfin, or if you're already on Rockfin, check this out, because I promise this is very valuable stuff. It's extremely valuable to our team, and we tend to have a good idea of what's going on. But there's just some district races that are coming down to the wire, and in the final week of the regular season for small classes, we are going to have some district title games this Friday night. And if you're on that sheet, you'll be able to know exactly where to look for those. Anyways, any unique stories across the Iowa high school football slate? I seem to ask this every week because I just love going out and telling unique stories. So if there's anything unique around your area, go ahead and shoot me a message, and we'll see if we can make it work. Can't guarantee it, but you never know. The worst I could say is no. So that's how I think about it. But some of our better stories this year have been sent to us via DM. So we appreciate all those people for that. But anyways, rankings. Here we go. Class 5A. We'll kick it off here. I'd say the biggest win last week, Sioux City East over Johnston. Very impressive. Sioux City East coming from way out east into the Metro, getting a win over a CIML team. That was a really good football game, back and forth. So Sioux City East slots in at number 6. Waterloo West jumps in the rankings after a big RPI win over Kennedy. By the time this video is out, by the time you're watching it, we're probably going to have our week 7 RPI from the IHSA. So that's going to tell us a lot. Again, these rankings, they're not worth a ton, but we're just doing it because people like to come to us for our polls. So that's why we're continuing it. Again, not a huge factor in terms of playoffs or anything in that sense. But here's Class 5A. We will move on to Class 4A. Some big stories here. Newton hangs on over CCA in a really good game. Davenport North jumps into the rankings. ADM, boy, they looked really, really good at Glenwood. They can lock up their district title this week against Lewis Central. Gilbert hanging on yet again. That team is undefeated. Team just knows how to win football games, and that's a valuable asset. So congrats to the Gilbert Tigers for moving to 7-0. Fort Dodge, he gets a road win. Drayshawn Ross had 7 sacks in that game. That's just absolutely crazy stuff. And in terms of Class 4A, nothing too crazy. Again, still two regular season weeks for these big classes. Xavier hanging on at number 1. I'd say they definitely have looked like the number 1 team through the first 7 weeks of the high school football season in Class 4A. We will move on to Class 3A. And boy, 3A is a mess right now. I'm going to be honest. It is just an absolute chaos zone. First off, Carroll gets a big jump into number 6. The RPI is not going to reflect that. The RPI, I'd be shocked if they're inside the top 16 in RPI today, just because of how that goes. But that just shows the disparity between the RPI and a real poll. And the big ones, Winterset goes and beats Williamsburg. And so those teams are just on the outside looking in. If you're a Winterset fan, you're like, where the heck are we? I can tell you, you're right on the outside. You're looking directly in, and you're going to have some shots at some big games in the next few weeks to climb into that poll. And the other one, Central DeWitt, going and beating Mount Vernon. Boy, that was a huge win, and that's what caused a lot of this chaos in this poll, because Assumption has the win over Central DeWitt. DeWitt has the win over Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon has the head-to-head over Benton. Just absolute chaos. Waller has a win over a few of those guys, so they're sitting pretty inside the top 5. That looks like a top 5 team thus far. Humboldt gets a win over MOC Floyd Valley. Just absolute chaos in Class 3A, and this is just shaping up to be a wild postseason in that class because I'll be honest, there's not a crazy disparity between the top 3 or 4 and everyone else, and we've seen that with some top 5 teams getting knocked off this year. Solon and Clear Lake and Heelan, though, look really good. West Delaware and Waller, you can add in that boat too. They've been really, really good this year. But that's what we have for Class 3A. We will head down to Class 2A, where Kemper Catholic retains the number 1 spot per usual. The top 10-ish, I think maybe 11 were unchanged from week to week just because those teams all picked up wins. The big one this week, though, PCM Centerville. I'm looking at going to that one. So PCM and Centerville fans, if you're watching this video, drop a comment if I should go, because if IAfootball doesn't have a ton of fans in PCM or Centerville, I might go elsewhere. So drop a comment. I mean, it's not going to take much to talk me into go to that one because the storylines are just crazy. Obviously, I want to see Centerville and their young stars, Mac Murdoch and company, Abram DeSania, Makoa Caliponi. I got to make sure I'm saying that correctly, so you can drop a pronunciation in the comments. But then PCM, I mean, this team has been unreal this year. Wagaman at quarterback went. Steenhook, I mean, those guys have been electric on the outside. Only lost to Nevada on a Hail Mary. I mean, and you win that game, boy. PCM looks legit, and I'm kind of leaning towards that one. But I could use some sweet talking into that one. So PCM Centerville fans, shoot me a DM, drop a comment on this video. Again, it won't take much. I just need to see that you guys would watch a video about that. So that's what we have for Class 2A. Van Meter gets a big one over Grandview Christian in a good football game. Cherokee also got a big win, jumping back into the rankings. They've been getting hot as of late. Jackson Palstra just had a monster game in that one. That dude's an elite athlete in this class. There's no doubt about that. And another big one on the horizon this week, Okoboji and Kemper Catholic at Kemper. So a couple big 2A games with district title implications. That's just what I know off the top of my head. There might be a few in here scattered in as well. But that's what we have for 2A. Off to 1A, where again, I think the top 11 remain unchanged. Just a lot of these top teams flexing their muscles last week. Manson Northwest Webster climbs in after Hudson takes a loss. Tri-Center, 1A ranker, thought it was a good time to slide them back in. They've got a bunch of losses, but boy, they're all to really, really good teams. And with AJ Harder, Zach Nelson, Cale Witt and company, and Gold App, I mean, he's been great too. I think Tri-Center is the top 16 in our ranker, obviously. Kind of reflected that too, despite the amount of losses they've had. They're going to be a really competitive team, and they are not going to be a fun 3 seed. I think that's kind of where they're looking, is sitting on that 3 line in their district. That is not going to be a fun team to have come into your place as a 2 seed in that Class 1A bracket. So that's going to be interesting once we get those this Friday. Friday night actually is when we're going to get these small class pairings, and we'll have them all on IAfootball. So be sure to drop us a follow on all of our socials. Class A, I've seen a lot of discussion. MMCRU, the big win over West Sioux. Congrats to them, man. They've been excellent. I've gotten a lot of comments that they should be number 1. I don't disagree with you. I fully don't disagree with you. I think MMCRU, St. Ansgar, even ACGC, I could argue being number 1. But our ranker is just, I mean, he told me West Hancock has done nothing to lose that top spot. I know MMCRU has a couple rank wins, but I mean, West Hancock does as well. They have a bunch of wins right around that 15 to 20 range. They just beat a West Fork team who's the first team out. They've beaten Newman Catholic. So the quality wins are there for West Hancock too. I'm not taking anything against MMCRU because if MMCRU was number 1 in your poll, I would not disagree with you. And I think it's going to be a fun race down the line. And I'd tell you that the IAfootball rankings are not the end-all, be-all, and the IHSA poll is really where it's going to matter in terms of playoff seeding and whatnot. But both those teams look safely inside the top 4 and will look to host their little pods, or however you want to call them, in the postseason. But a big one this week in Class A, ACGC and Riverside. Boy, I am excited for that one. I will not be able to make it to that, sadly, but I will be checking in on the score because I'm excited to see how that one turns out. ACGC, I mean, they have more wins than they do pass attempts, if you saw our post about that. Riverside bringing in the state's leading rusher in Jackson Gordon. But, I mean, the storylines are abundant there. That one's going to be a ton of fun as we head into the final week of the regular season in Class A. Moving on to 8-man. Not too much. I guess the big story here is GTRA getting the win over Kingsley Pearson. The rankings didn't really jump too much just because I think our ranker thinks that they're both in a good spot. It's just GTRA beat them, so they're going to stay ahead. But congrats to GTRA. That's a big win. That's going to be a dangerous team in the postseason as well. Wayne jumps in our rankings. I know they are new, but besides that, a lot of top teams again flexing their muscles in this class 8-man field, and the pods are starting to kind of look like they're shaping out. The little bracket's starting to look like it's shaping out here in class 8-man. Going to be interesting to see. But that's what we have for our week 8 rankings. Again, we're going to have more postseason content. If you're on Rockfin, we're going to have Rockfin content coming for you, but I'm working on some free stuff, some ideas I have this week for YouTube specifically. So be sure to go back and watch all the game highlights that we had from this week. I had a day in the life with Braylon Bingham. That was super fun. If you're someone who would be interested in maybe a day in the life type of thing, reach out. I can see what I can do. But until then, and until Thursday's Locks and Dogs, I'll see you guys next time.